In this video, we will demonstrate installing Stansoft and the setup required for UK VAT Making Tax Digital. I'll be following the steps outlined in the Quick Start Guide for UK VAT Making Tax Digital. You can find a link for this guide in the description below. First, we will install Stansoft from the command line as the root user. Next, we will run the installation script located at the following path. Accept the default for the database to use. And as you'll notice, the message at the bottom of the screen says to run that script as user Stansoft. Before we do that though, we're going to switch to the UK date format. And that can be found in the following location. We will highlight the UK date format and copy and paste that into the following file, postgres.local. And we have that pasted into there. We'll save that. Next, we'll become user Stansoft and launch the master menu. Select menu option, System Management. So select postal code maintenance and add your postal code by selecting add. And you have to add at least your postcode for your company. You can add as many as you like for vendors or customers also. County, state, and country can be left blank, so press escape to save that and exit. While we're here, we'll enter the company also from company maintenance. Select add. Enter your company name. You can add your address, your street address also, and your postal code. Which automatically pulls in the city name and your phone numbers and email address. Press escape to save. Next, go into Profit Center Maintenance, add, and we will add Profit Center number 0, which will be the company-wide profit center. Profit center zip code, and you can put the full address in here also, but zip code is required. For tax group, enter PC for profit center, and type is A for administrative. Press escape to save and enter on accept. Exit. Next, go into system parameters, enter on find, We're going to do a search for parameter number 2, press escape. And we need to change the value, which is currently blank, by selecting C for change. And we'll enter 0, which is the company-wide profit center we just set up. Press escape to save that and exit. Control C to back out of this menu and go into General Ledger. Select Period Maintenance and select Add. Again, you can use arrow keys on these ring menus on the top, or you can use the first letter as a hotkey to jump to it. So in this case, you would press A for Add. For the series number, if your fiscal period is on the calendar year, you could use just the year number, for example, 2022. If it's something other than that, we could use something like 22-23, and we'll say our fiscal year begins on April 1st. Select Escape to save it. Enter the number of days in the period. There's 30. Now you can add just one period, and then each month you can add a new period, or to make things a little bit easier and save time, you can add all 12 periods for the year at once. So we'll quickly do that now. And it defaults to the next month, so we'll just hit escape to save that. Select Add again. Again, it defaults to the next month. We'll just continue to do that until we have all 12 periods added. And then once a year, you'll have to come in here and add new periods for the next year. Okay, there's all 12 periods. We'll select E for exit, Ledger, and Account Master Maintenance. Now you can enter all of your chart of accounts in here, or you can enter the examples given in the Quick Start Guide. I'll go through and enter those now by selecting Add. Accounting series is the series that we entered in period maintenance, which was 22-23. Account number 1050. Profit center is the company-wide profit center number 0. Normal balance is a debit. The group is a current asset, and we will name that bank. Clear to account is 0. For all expense and income accounts, the clear to account will be the retained earnings account. Press escape to save and select Add, and continue adding the rest of the general ledger accounts. Accounts receivable account, select escape to save it, add, asset clearing account, which is used internally by the system, so it must exist. Accounts payable has a credit balance and is in the current liabilities group. Also clear to zero. VAT payable to HMRC. Next is the unbilled liabilities account, which also is used internally by the system. So it must exist. Our capital stock account, which we will name common stock. And our retained earnings account. Now that the retained earnings account is entered, we can continue with the product expense and income accounts, which will have the clear to account set to this retained earnings account, $40.99. Selecting add, and we will add the sales account. Product revenue account, we'll name it sales. And here in the clear to account now you'll use the retained earnings account. So when the annual period end program is run, all the expense and income accounts will be cleared to the retained earnings account. Next is our purchases account, product expense. Again, use the retained earnings as the clear to account. Discounts earned. And finally, the finance charge income account. And since it's a other income account, the clear to will be retained earnings. Now that all of our general ledger accounts are entered, we'll select exit. So back up, go into system management, and the next item will be bank maintenance. Select add on there. You can enter your routing number and bank account number. Bank account number is required. You can either enter your actual number or just something like 9999. Enter the bank name and description. Type of bank account, we'll do C for checking. Profit center is the company-wide center. And the next three, cash and bank, accounts payable, and invoice discounts, are the general ledger accounts that we just set up. If you know the account number, you can enter it, or you can do a Control F to search for it. You can either type in a description here, or pressing enter will search for all the accounts. And enter on the bank. We'll fill that in. For accounts payable, we'll just enter the number. And discounts was 6,700. Select escape to save that. Next, go into system parameters, maintenance. We already entered system parameter 2, the company-wide profit center, but we'll need to add the others that are shown in the quick start guide. So we'll do a find, search for parameter 6215, press escape, and change. Here you enter your VAT registration number, and escape to save it. Select find again. The next parameter we need is 6220. Change this, and you can set either S for the standard VAT accounting scheme or C for cash. Escape to save that. Find again and search for 1051. Change the general ledger unbilled liabilities account, which was 4097. Next is 3008. The GL accounts payable account, 4000. And finally, system parameter 5009, which is the default bank account, and we entered 9999 for our bank account. Next, we have step 3, tax control. Control C to back to the master menu. Select tax control. And tax table maintenance. Select add, and we need to add all of the codes shown in the guide. We would name the code VAT, level F, UK for tax where, order of 0, description VAT, and the general ledger account is 4075, which was our VAT payable HMRC. The rate is 20%. Basis is on money. And put in a effective date and a charge flag of Y to charge the tax. Press escape to save. We also need to add C for credit and D for debit flag codes. Those are used to make the proper general ledger entries. And a no charge flag also for non-taxable products. So select add again. We'll add the rest of the codes. We'll name this one VAT C for the credit code. And it's important that you use the same tax rate for all of these codes for the VAT C and the VAT D. The VAT 0 will be a 0 rate, but the other ones need to be the same 20% rate so things balance. And in the charge flag, this will be C which is why we named it VAT-C for the code, just to make it more clear what it is. Escape to save that. Add. We'll add the VAT-D record. This will be our debit record for general ledger entries. Again, make sure you have the same rate of 20%. And in the charge flag, use D for debit. Escape to save that. And finally, we'll enter a VAT-0 code, which will be for non-taxable products. And this will have a tax rate of 0. And the charge flag of N for tax exempt. Escape to save that. Next, we will go into tax use group maintenance. And here we will add use groups for both taxable and non-taxable. These groups will then be attached to vendor accounts and customer accounts. So select add, and we will call the group UK Cust. No tax for our non-taxable group. This group will be our UK customer for sales inside the UK. You can also make a group for the European Union accounts you might have. You might call that EU Cust, or if you only sell inside the UK, this is all that you'll need. Press escape on that. Next, we need to attach the tax codes that we just entered to this use group. Since this is the non-tax use group, we will attach just the VAT-0 by putting an X in the schedule code next to VAT-0. Pressing escape will save that. Select add and add UK Cust tax, and it automatically pulls in the same description that we just used for the non-taxable. Press escape. And for the taxable code, we need to put an X next to the VAT code and also the VAT-C. That is so a general ledger credit entry can be made also. So those two codes are needed. Pressing escape. So those are two groups for sales. Next we'll add the two groups used for purchases. We'll call that UK Vend, no tax. And for our description, UK Vendor for purchases inside the UK. And again, you can use an EU Vend if you have purchases outside of the UK. And for the no tax here, we will select just the VAT-0 for no tax. Select add UK Vend tax. And we will attach the VAT code. And since this is a purchase, we'll attach the VAT-D code so a debit entry will be made to the general ledger during purchases. And escape on that. Next, we will go into accounts payable. Control C to back up. Select accounts payable. And we will enter our vendors in vendor master maintenance. You can enter all of your vendors so that all purchases can be entered, or you can enter just a single vendor to speed the MTD return process and enter a total of all your sales on one vendor. So we'll do that here just for demonstration purposes. We'll select add, and we will call this a UK vendor since we're just going to enter all of our purchases on a single vendor. You can enter your address here, but zip postal code is required. So we'll enter that. Press escape to the next screen. Account status is O for open. Vendor class all. Standard terms at 10. Escape for the next screen. Here we will attach the tax use groups which we just defined in the tax control system. So we will enter UK vend tax and UK vend no tax so that we can enter both taxable and non-taxable products on this vendor. Select escape and accept. Next, we will go into inventory. So back up to the master menu, select inventory, and we will enter our inventory products. You can enter all of the products that you purchase and sell here, or you can enter just 2 products for taxable and non-taxable if you're going to just enter total amounts on those products, which is what we'll do here. So select inventory header maintenance, add, and we'll use the product code of PRDT for taxable. Tax class of tax. And escape to save that, and then add our non-taxable product. No tax for the tax class. Escape to save that one. Next, go into inventory master maintenance. Select add your profit center and the product code that we just entered. And here you'll assign all of your general ledger accounts for inventory, sales, and cost. And we could search for them with Control F if we didn't know the account numbers. Enter the inventory price that you're selling it at and cost, pricing formula, and press escape. And we'll also do our non-taxable product. Okay, next step is 6, accounts receivable. So from the master menu, select accounts receivable. And we first need to go into transaction type maintenance. And we will assign the general ledger codes to all of the transaction types in there. So we'll do find, and we'll press escape, leaving all fields blank so that all rows are found. And the received on account is what you'll use when you enter a receipt from a customer. So the GL offset account here would be your bank account, which we had defined as 1050. Escape to save that. Then select Next, change. Most of these transaction types are used internally by the system, and here's where the asset clearing account is defined, so you enter that. Next, change, asset clearing account again. Next, change. For the finance charge, you'll use your finance charge income account. Asset clearing account here. Okay, those have all had general ledger offset accounts assigned to them, so exit out of that. Next, go into customer class maintenance. Select find and escape. And there's none entered in there, so we'll need to enter a customer class. We can enter one called all, and we'll just name that all customers. And for the general ledger number, you'll enter your accounts receivable GL code, which was 1100. Now we're ready to enter our customers. So go into customer master maintenance. And you can enter all of your customers here, or if you're only going to be entering totals, we'll just enter a single customer, which we'll call UK customer here. So select add. And your zip code. Press escape to the next screen. Status will be OI for open item. Normal pricing level is 0. Enter your sale terms. Enter your credit line. Statement cycle of 0 for no statement. Finance charge of 0. B for both on the invoice statement delivery. Customer class was all. Select escape. Next, we will assign the tax use groups here, which will determine which products this customer can sell. And since we want both taxable and non-taxable, we'll assign both of those. UK Cust tax and UK Cust no tax. Press escape. Press escape again. And escape, we're not going to set up any class overrides or product overrides here. And we will select accept. So that customer has been added. Back out of here. This completes the master file setup. The next steps to do before you can submit your return is to enter your sales, which will be done in the sales menu option. In invoice entry, you would enter all of your customer invoices, followed by the process invoice option to process those invoices. And then for your vendor purchases, you would go into inventory, enter those in receive inventory, and once all those receivers have been entered, you would go into accounts payable, invoice entry, and attach the receivers to the accounts payable invoice. Then the final setup, and where you'll submit your VAT return, is under tax control, VAT return report. And we first have a one-time setup in here by pressing F4. And then on each of these 9 boxes, we need to define where either the sales or the purchases will come from. On box 1, press F4, and you'll enter the tax use group. We defined a tax use group of UK Cust earlier, and this will select all VAT on sales to customers that have that tax use group attached to their customer master account. Enter UK Cust, press Escape. Box 2 would be anything for the European Union. If we would have defined a EU vend, we could enter that into that box, but we've not done that. So box 4 would be next, F4, enter UK vend. This will select all VAT on purchases from the UK that have this tax use group attached to their vendor master account. Box 6, press F4, enter UK Cust. Box 7, UK Vend. 8 that would be European Union, which we've not set up, so we'll leave box 8 empty. And also box 9 would be European Union if we had that set up. So that's all we need for setup there. Escape. And then we could enter our date range, and that would pull the sales and purchases, and you'd be able to submit your VAT report from there. And this completes the setup of a UK VAT MTD return.